And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday. It's August 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a Thursday. The sun is shining, and it is the start of the Wilson County Fair. But for us, it's the start of our commercial for Bates Ford. We've got Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly here as usual. And gentlemen, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer. It'll trade for anything it don't eat. Well, I don't know what you want to talk about this morning. Maybe a little bit about your presence at the fair this year, Paul.
Well, we're doing the concert. Tony's gracious enough to he does that concert series out there. So they've moved it kind of this year, but you know, he's a big contributor and a supporter of that, and he believes so. We're looking forward to Tuesday having a concert. So
yeah, great. And it's free, of course.
It is.
Just pay your admission gets you into that and into a lot of other things as well. Ronnie, what about you?
Yeah, everything's going good. I'm still, the fair is here, but we still want to sell automobiles. A lot of time we get started in the fair, it kind of slows down, but we want to keep it going this year.
Yeah. Well, are you still encouraging people if they've got one they want to get rid of to come by? You're buying?
Oh, certainly. That's been a very successful campaign that we ran. Actually, I've bought probably 40, 50 cars off the streets. We've had a really good success of that, and with the used car market being where it is, people are surprised that they come by, and like I said, even if you owe money on it, we pay it off, and then whatever the difference, if there's equity, we'll give you once we get the title, we'll give it to you. So don't feel like if you still owe money, it's not something you can sell, because we have done that several times as well, where people's owe, but the car's worth more than what they owe, so we go ahead and pay the car off to the lender. And then whatever the difference is, we'd cut you a check. But we've had a great success. We bought a nice Corvette. We got a 06 Corvette with 30,000 miles convertible. We bought off several trucks. We are kind of trickling in some new vehicles. Not like I'd like to have it, but we do have a diesel truck that we got in and some F-150s and stuff. So, but our used car inventory is strong, so we're maintaining it.
And Ronnie, I guess you just echo what he said there, but you've been around here for nearly 35 years, 34 going on 35, and still got a lot of friends and their children, maybe even grandchildren, that come and let you take care of their car needs.
Yes, and we've been very successful on that. And again, we'd like to thank Paul and the staff for continuing to buy vehicles and even the sale people that have been buying vehicles to, bring them in and we've been able to, make those deals work. And right now, when I go around, a lot of people say, hey, man, what y'all selling? I don't see anything on your lot. But we have a good selection of used cars and all makes and brands, and we're doing real well with them so far.
All right. Well, we, of course, always talk about your oil change, cheapest in town, and still going strong with that.
Yeah, that's a huge success. And the biggest problem we got with our oil changes is we just stay so busy. I know people like to get in and out quick. But I don't.
Doing the best you can.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we get, you got 20 people show up at one time, and you got 6 oil changers. So that is sometimes I do get a few gripes, but when you run the cheapest in town, it's generally people come in. Yeah, they do. But we don't just do oil change. We make sure that they do a full inspection. We're not dumping oil and sending it on its way. We're checking your brakes, batteries, your hoses, and all that. So we do, and that's one of the reasons Tony and myself and been meeting with Heath and Seth at Agilitize for building our new facility. We're going to have a quick lube where we can actually do a little bit more. We're going to be able to do 10 oil changes because we're going to have a lot bigger service department at our new dealership. So that's going to help us, do that, and we'll still run the cheapest oil change in town.
Well, you did mention you check batteries, and if that battery is run down and needs replacing, you've got one for that.
$134.95. And that battery comes with a 3-year free replacement and then a 100-month warranty, which is the best in the market. And tires, we always sell tires. I got a lot of people call me a lot of times on tires. We'll meet or beat anybody's price on any competitive tire. We'll give you free rotation for the life of the tire. And, of course, when we take them tires off, we'll check your brakes, your shocks, and hoses, and, make sure your suspension's in good shape, too. So it's kind of a win-win.
Well, that is, and especially if there's something wrong with a car, and something that would really be a detriment to good transportation. I mean, possible something going to break you down, or even cause you to have a wreck. Get that fixed. Get it done. Early prevention here, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, one of the deals we run is at Works, where we do an oil change and a tire rotation. And when we rotate them tires, you'd be surprised on the amount of times that we go to people and go, "Hey, your brakes," we save them a lot of money, because if you catch them brake pads before they get into the rotors, well, that saves you $200 or $300. So we'll go to them and say, "Hey, your brakes are 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters. If we can put brake pads on for $109. But if you wait and you let them get into the rotors, it's going to be $400 or $500. So that tire rotation and that Works package is a really good deal as well, because it's preventative maintenance.
Right. Well, Ronnie, we're about out of time, but you can give us the last word here. You always want people to come see you.
Yes, we want to ask all our customers to come down to Bates Ford, and we want to make new customers. And I know it's hot outside, so come on in and sit down. We'll give you water, and we'll sit down and pull the car up and get it cool where you can go out and drive it. And might be able to get the key from Paul and get some snacks out of the machine. I had to talk to him about that.
I'll make sure I put that on his employee AR account there.
We all have a great week. We'll see you next
Thank
Thursday. Paul Tubbs, Dealer Operations Manager, Ronnie Kelly in sales, all at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon, the dealer that'll trade for anything it don't eat. 10 and a half after the hour. We want to welcome Lieutenant P.J. Hardy. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to see you today, and I notice you've got a little more facial hair in places that you in the last
That I don't
time.
normally, yes. So,
What would you call that? Mustache and goatee?
yeah, it's a little goatee combination, I guess you can call it. So, we had started out, Matt Dedman, our sergeant in training sergeant, he had a brainstem stroke, and so to support him and his family, we did a fundraiser, kind of like our No Shave November campaign that we do every year for the Warriors Project. And but ironically, during that course, the administration looked at our facial hair policy, and they decided, it's a way of the times, I guess, and many departments have adopted a facial hair policy where uniform officers can wear beards. They have to be neatly trimmed, and there's some guidelines. But yeah, so kind of started with that, and it's I think it's going to be around for a little while. So something to get used to.
Now you, if I get it right here, you're still doing some shaving.
Oh, yeah.
There's some places here you don't. Now, do you like that?
So ironically, I'm not a huge fan of it. What's funny is I had a mustache, I guess, since I was in 7th grade, and about, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, I shaved everything off, and I enjoyed it. But my wife seems to like it, so I'll just hang on to it for a little while until it gets aggravating, and then maybe we'll shave it off. But nonetheless, you will see our officers moving forward in the future that will have facial hair, but they will be, like I said, neatly trimmed, and there's other guidelines that they have to follow. Yeah. But it's just kind of the signs of the times. It still can look professional if done right.
Not like some of these shaggy baseball players.
Yes, absolutely.
Or maybe otherwise, football or otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, we've got time, I guess, to talk a little bit about the fair here.
Is that going on?
Not yet, but as of 5 o'clock.
As of 5 o'clock, absolutely. We've got everything hopefully prepared. As usual, we're going to be taking care of all of the perimeter of the fairgrounds, as far as parking, as far as traffic enforcement, and getting people in and out. We do expect maybe a little bit higher numbers than usual, because it is the first year of the Tennessee State Fair. So we will have some of those folks that normally would visit the state fair come to visit ours. And so we're looking forward to it. I think we've got everything in place, and we'll take care of it.
Is this a time when just about everybody's on board? I mean, no vacations, and you got to really be sick and all this kind of thing.
Yes. Chief Mike Justice makes sure that it's all hands on deck during this 10-day fair. And yeah, we want to make sure that we've got plenty of coverage, not only obviously to serve our community and to make sure people get in and out of the fair, but it can be grueling. The heat and being out on that pavement, it gets pretty hot. So we want to make sure that we're rotating officers and keeping them fresh and making sure that they stay safe and healthy as well.
Well, as I try to think back, we've always had, once the fair grew to a certain population, let's say, or a certain attendance, we've always had some traffic slowdowns there and all of this, but I can't remember any terrible accidents that we've had, and most of the time I think people are fairly cooperative. I mean, sometimes you want to go left and you're supposed to go right, and you just have to make the best of it, but I'm sure that your officers cooperate as much as they can, but there's some things you got to have some order coming out of there.
You do,
or getting in as well.
You do, and I mentioned that yesterday. We did a Facebook video yesterday, kind of describing what you may experience coming to the fair as far as traffic patterns and whatnot. There are during different times of the day, and depending on what events are going on, those patterns will change, and so you just need to really pay attention. We'll have cones set out, we'll have portable signs put out, and of course we'll have our officers in key locations, guiding folks as well. So just really pay attention to those directions and follow those directions. And we understand it could be very aggravating sometimes because, as you mentioned, you want to go left, but you can't. You got to go right. But there's a reason for that. It's because we've got to ensure that it's not just a matter of getting people into the fair, but it's also we got to get them out of the fair. So having that good protocol, having that good plan, and making sure that folks follow those directions is really key to making that a successful event. And so it's been great over the years. There's always little hiccups here and there. Like you said, every rose has its thorn, right? And so it happens from time to time. But I think it would be fine.
Good. Well, we're all looking forward to it, and hopefully everybody can make the best of it and have a good time. We need to take a break right here. More coming up. Lieutenant P.J. Hardy in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Starting to run a little bit slow at times as we check it out live. 24 westbound here at OHB coming up through Antioch. It's building pretty good now. Out of Dixon County, Hickman County on I-40 as you come through Kingston Springs on 40 eastbound with all that traffic flow headed towards West Nashville. Gatlinburg Wine Cellars, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Check them out online at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
As the Titans try to win a second consecutive AFC South Division title. Every snap.
Gives Henry around right end to the 5, to the end zone.
Every first down. Every touchdown.
Touchdown Titans!
It's all heard here.
Brought to you by Bates Ford, Fakes and Hooker, and Steve Mull Plumbing.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
West Tree Service, locally owned and operated in Lebanon, Tennessee. With over 25 years experience, our primary goal is to provide high-quality professional service with attention to detail. At West Tree Service, we use better equipment to be more efficient, which equals reasonable prices for our customers. We offer free estimates with no obligation. We are licensed and fully insured. West Tree Service, honest service that's professional, courteous, and on time. For more information, visit westtreecare.com or call 615-456-2011.
Coleman and Company here on a Thursday morning. Lieutenant P.J. Hardy's here, Information Officer for the Lebanon Police Department. Another thing we need to mention this morning, and I'm glad you reminded me here during the great. We talked about this a little bit, but the Wilson County Promotions has come up with a bigger plan for people to be bused into the fair, and you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's a great option. It definitely will hopefully make your experience a little bit better as far as getting in and out of the fair. So there are 3 pickup locations currently. The first location is behind the Cumberland University football field off of Tennessee Boulevard. Big parking lot back behind there. You can park there, catch a shuttle bus. It'll bring you in, it'll bring you out. There are times posted when those buses will be running, but they're pretty inclusive. So unless you plan on staying super late one night, that probably isn't an option for you. In addition to that, across the street, our former home of the Lebanon Police Department there on Park Street, that parking lot, as well as the parking spaces up near the ball field's behind there. Those are additional parking areas. And then on East Main Street at First Baptist Church, their parking lot is being utilized as a shuttle pickup.
I understand the courthouse parking lot maybe across the street too.
Courthouse as well. Okay. Not as many spaces over there, but it'll probably pick up across the street at First Baptist. But so plenty of options as far as parking and taking the shuttle bus in. We're told that they're air-conditioned buses, so they will be nice and pleasant for you. It does 2 things. It helps you not have to deal with all the immediate traffic. Now, there might be a little bit of traffic getting to those locations, but beyond that, it gets pretty heavy as far as traffic is concerned. You'll be dropped off right behind our new police department at 1017 Sparta Pike. There's an access way out of the back area of our building, and you'll be right there at the purple gate, right in the middle of everything. It's easy access. Pick up and drop off is at the same place. So please utilize that as an option. It'll help you, and it'll help us to keep traffic down.
There's no cost for this.
There's no cost for it. It's completely free.
Right.
Yep.
So you have an extra option here.
You do.
Don't have to worry about parking, at least until those places get full. Now, if they get full, I don't know.
Yeah, and then you're kind of left to whatever's left over. But yeah, it's a great option, and we hope that everybody takes advantage of it. Because, like I said, it helps you not having to deal with that immediate traffic around those parking areas during the fair, and plus it helps us to alleviate some of that car traffic.
I know some people who have done this in the past when it was just the one place over there, but and they liked it and did it. I think every night they went. So it's you might try that out.
Yeah, and there's other things you can keep in mind too is try to go during off-peak hours. During the week, during the weekday versus the evenings. Obviously, Friday and Saturday nights. If you want to go and enjoy that, absolutely, please do that. But just know that it'll be heavier traffic during that time, and it might take you a little bit. Always plan ahead. Always plan ahead.
You ever had any road rage incidents at the fair that you want to talk that you can't talk about?
Well, we've had people that just aren't happy, and we get it and we understand. But when you're looking at nearly 500,000 people in the span of 10 days, we only have so much real estate, right? We're hoping, who knows, maybe down the road with this being now the home of the Tennessee State Fair, there may be some funding for a few road improvements and that sort of thing. But again, even with road improvements, there's just so much real estate that we have to work with, and it's just one of those things. It takes a minute, so just be patient.
All right, school has started, and I guess we could talk about that a little bit. It's been about a week, I guess. Everything gone fairly smoothly?
Everything's gone great. We appreciate everybody being mindful in those school zones and making sure that we keep our kids safe. We haven't had any major issues. The school is, as like everything else, as things grow and we add in new schools and the territories have changed a little bit. The buses, be patient with the buses. They're still trying to get their schedule and get the kids to school and home in time. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, everything's gone great with that. Just remember to always be mindful of those school zones.
Watch I think as much as anything, it's getting used to it. After you've had maybe 8 or 9 weeks to not worry about a school zone or any school buses or anything, then it starts up, and if you're not careful, you might forget. So
yeah. Early on, especially during those school zones, once it starts to pick up, you'll be reminded quickly because it'll be congested. But we've got the new Jones Brummett Elementary that just came on board. Absolutely beautiful school. We did a tour out there last week, and so yeah, with everything growing, it's and the patterns changing a little bit. Just be mindful and be safe in those areas.
okay, what else would you like to talk about this
Well,
morning? What else is on your plate, sir?
Well, just a few things. You know me. I have my hands in a few things, but we are super excited, and we're hoping that this stays the course. But we're super excited to have two major events that we've been kind of missing out over the last year, and that is one is our Citizens Police Academy. We will be having that. We are scheduled to have that. It starts the third Thursday of September. Probably by next week, we'll get some information out on Facebook, the application, consent forms, and all that sort of stuff. We will have to limit the number of participation just based on what's going on out there in the world. And so we'll have to limit that number, but we at least will have that Citizens Police Academy starting the third week of September. And in addition to that, we will also be having our National Night Out event, again, which we missed out on last year. That's October the 5th. It's the first Tuesday in October, 5 until 8 at the Don Fox Park. And it's just a fantastic event. We've got all the first responder units out there with all of their equipment, so kids can look, touch, feel, that sort of thing. And we've got nonprofits that are out there that will share the information on the things that they offer for our community. And we'll have other folks. It's completely free. There's food and some giveaways and just a lot of fun. So,
well, I think that's something that you and probably most of the police and others look forward to, and it's an opportunity for the community to come and get to know you, maybe in a little bit different way.
Yeah.
You're not writing citations.
That's right. Thank you for using citations. I love that.
I got it from you.
Because we don't write tickets. That's ugly. So, yeah, it really is. National Night Out started as a way for communities to stand up against crime. And it's been a great way for folks to come, like you said, come see us, see our equipment, get to know us a little bit. And it's all of us. It's us, the Wilson County Sheriff's Department, Mount Juliet Police Department, WEMA, Lebanon Fire. We'll have THP representatives there. Tennessee Wildlife will be there. So there's.
You even let Chris Dowell come?
Not him. Oh, particularly. No, I'm just kidding. Absolutely.
Well,
we love the boys in the big red trucks. Yes. So, and so do the kids. So we make sure that they're invited every year. But everybody gets an opportunity to come out there and again, kind of just share with folks how we serve our community. There's jumpies there. There's all sorts of treats and giveaways, and yeah, it's just a great time. It's a great opportunity. Who knows? You may see some dancing mascots. There's, you just never know what can happen out there. But again, it's free. That's October the 5th, the first Tuesday in October, 5 until 8, out at the beautiful Don Fox Park, and we look forward to it.
Yeah, several weeks away, but you can keep that in mind. And isn't it pretty much the same time every year?
Pretty much, yeah. It's in the evening between 5 and 8 or so. But it's always, there are two National Night Out dates. The first one is in August. We don't really like to utilize that date because, one, it's too hot, and two, the kids are just starting school, and we want them to be able to focus on that. So we always use the October date.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes here, and it's always good to have you out. You hiring now?
We are, so I'm glad that you brought that up. We're actually have just brought on several new dispatchers. We've got some officers that are coming on board. We will have some additional positions later on towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. So make sure that if you're interested in a position with us, whether it's in communications or as a police officer, the best thing that you can do is go to our city's webpage at lebanontn.org. There is a careers tab. Click on that, and it'll show you all the different career opportunities throughout the city. We are absolutely growing. And if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see that there's been a lot of promotions and moving of personnel here lately, and that's due in part to the growth that we're experiencing.
Well, I want to end here talking about Matt Dedman, if I could.
Absolutely.
You had a fundraiser, and kind of give us a report on that and on him.
Matt is doing phenomenal. He's doing great. He's back to work. He's on a limited basis, but he's continuing with his therapy and all that. But he's doing really well. He's got a ways to go. With most strokes, the irony in his particular situation is that those brainstem strokes are probably the deadliest strokes in that category. However, for someone who is able to survive the stroke, the recovery is actually a lot better and there's not as much long-term effects. Like some other strokes, you may have slight paralysis and that sort of thing. He doesn't have that. He's got to work physically back to doing that, to being 100%, and also with his speech. His speech is, you can tell it's just a little bit off, but he is doing great, and we're just tickled to have him back at work and doing his thing, and we will continue to support him. We've got the softball tournament coming up next month. Mayhem for Matt, that you can participate in, and there's several other things. This is such a great family. He's got kids that play ball, and they're very active, and this has really kind of put a damper on some of the things that they wanted to do. So we're just trying to support them the best we can.
Well, thanks for that, and thanks for being with us, and hopefully we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Coleman. Appreciate
Lieutenant P.J. Hardy, Lebanon Police Department. That's part one of Coleman Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And just now, 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Brought to you by Bates Ford and the Low Price Tire Guarantee. And we want to invite you to stop in to see our friends at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're dodging this huge piece of debris here on 65 northbound at Trinity Lane. The heaviest flow of traffic obviously is over on the southbound side. That's running pretty slow down through there right now on 65 southbound. Building pretty good now. Coming out of Wilson County down I-42 Mount Juliet with the fair in town. Give you some extra time around those fairgrounds there in Wilson County starting today. It's going to be pretty busy at times. Gatlinburg Wine Cellars, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Hey, this is Paul from Bates Ford, and we got some great things going on. We got the Works vehicle package for $49.95. Also, we'll meet or beat anybody's price on tires. And on the sales ends, if you got anything that you want to turn into cash, whether it's a vehicle, boat, camper, motorcycle, anything you want to turn into cash, bring it to Bates Ford and we'll buy it. If you got a vehicle you want to get rid of, certainly bring it to Bates Ford for a cash offer. That's Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat.
It's your first day in business, a new space, real investors, and butterflies the size of dinner plates. You could have an inspiration, make a difference, sponsor a Little League team. Anything can happen. And because anything can happen, that's why there's THW Insurance Services and Westfield Insurance. Whether your business is large or small, call THW Insurance, a Trilogy agency, and prepare for the unexpected.
It's going to be hot and humid out there today. Temperatures today will soar into the mid-90s with those feel-like temperatures being well over 100 degrees. So if you're going to be outdoors for an extended period of time, make sure to stay hydrated. Rain chances will be on the increase by Friday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Thursday morning. It is time for us to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon, Tennessee, of course located at 1409 Medical Center Drive. We've told you about that location and described it in a certain way. Of course, it is just north of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And if you were going to the emergency room, you know where you would turn. Well, to get to the Pavilion, you go one street further and take a left, and you'll find it down there on the right. And this month they're celebrating 5 years of being there. The Pavilion is a special place, and they do provide, of course, memory care and assisted living. And we usually talk about assisted living first. I'm going to talk about memory care first this morning. And I think the last report from Heather Sadler Gallagher, the marketing director and interim administrator, they were pretty full up, both in a memory care and assisted living. But the Pavilion Senior Living offers memory care for residents who are facing Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. The program is designed to be resident-focused by creating an individual plan that includes a person's life, skills, interest, and routine into a personalized plan. And the program has been designed to encompass every detail, including the design of the community, specialized training for their team, programming for activities, culinary selections, and coordination with the clinical services. They want to help the residents feel comfortable in their new home. Now, if it's assisted living, you will be glad to know that the Pavilion Senior Living is licensed by the state of Tennessee. It's staffed 24 hours a day by certified staff. You can rest assured that the residents receive the best care and support by trained staff who do truly care about the residents' well-being. They strive for the residents to maintain the highest level of independence while supporting and assisting with activities of daily living. Now, you can find more by going to the website, www.thepavilionseniorliving.com. A wealth of information is there. You'll even probably see some selfies that Heather has posted, and no doubt she's going to show off her children there. But that's the pavilionseniorliving.com. And, of course, if you need to talk to Heather, she's got the answers for most any question you're going to have about senior living, and especially regarding what we're talking about this morning, the assisted living and memory care. And if you are in dire straits, she might can help you find something else that will satisfy if they're full at the Pavilion. She's known for that as well. 615-444-5556 is the number. The Pavilion Senior Living right here in Lebanon, 1409 Medical Center Drive. Well, we're going to get started with my guest here, and I want to welcome David Grimm from the Reifhofer Shows, and that's the carnival playing at the Wilson County, Tennessee State Fair. Good morning.
Good morning. It's just great to be here.
Well, it's nice to see you, nice to have you, and want to talk about your shows. We'll talk about the fair, of course, but even before we do that, let's talk a little bit about you. Where are you from?
Well, I grew up in northern Ohio near Lake Erie. My dad was a county agent, got involved in agriculture, and I remember going to the fair as a kid, and we had a press department there at our small county fair, and I got to be on the radio quite a bit when I was 16, 17 years of age, and I think I sort of caught the bug about fairs and media at that time.
And how did you get involved with the shows?
Well, I became a fair manager in 1989 in Burlington, Vermont. I was up there 24 years and then moved back to Ohio later on and managed a fair there. And during that time of being in Vermont, I got to know the Reithofer Show family. They were my carnival of record. They left the State Fair of West Virginia and would make the trek all the way to northern Vermont to play our big exposition that we had there, and became good friends with them. And so I enjoy working for them in various roles.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, in promotions, special events, I was involved in motorsports and fairs and now the carnival. So I've been doing it pretty much my entire life. After I got out of school, I started in radio, actually, at a little station north of Columbus, Ohio, called WRFD, and it was a very powerful farm radio station at that time, Coleman. And I was pretty wet behind the ears when I got out of Ohio State after I'd done the farm market reports on WOSU, and I thought this would be fun to work at WRFD. Well, it didn't pay a lot of money back then, and when the National Tractor Pullers Association offered me $2,500 more to go and work for them as their first public relations director, that was a lot of money in 1973.
Yeah.
So that's how my whole promotion and marketing and the special events business actually got started.
All right, well, now that we know a little bit about you, let's talk about the shows. It's going to be right here at the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair.
It's big. Reithofer Shows is one of the top 10 carnival operators in all of America. They own about 100 rides. Usually we have 2 units on the road, and while the blue unit is here in Tennessee, the orange unit is up at the State Fair of West Virginia in Lewisburg, West Virginia, and they have a big fair up there as well. We have 2 teams of people that operate the rides and do all the things that are necessary to bring the ride packages together at each fair. But sometimes we will even split the big units down to smaller units, especially in the spring. A lot of events we go to may only need 20 or 25 rides, and they don't need as many rides as we have here at the Wilson County Fair. So sometimes we'll split them up, and we can actually play 4 different events at one time if need be.
Well, let's talk about what we have here. It's a big midway, and I think tonight is a special night. We'll get into all that, but
it is.
Talk about the rides you have.
So Reithofer Shows will have 61 attractions here at the Wilson County Fair, and they've been setting everything up for well over a week now. And it was great to come in early to get rides set up because you've got always a lot of fine tuning and make sure all the lights are working, and it's a lot of machinery, and it just takes time to put it all together. Last night they turned all the lights on and they ran all the rides sort of for a dry run kind of show, and we're really looking forward to a very big night tonight. As you know, things kick off at 5 o'clock, and what makes tonight really special, Coleman, this is a heck of a deal. All the rides are $1 a piece. Now, you must buy a sheet of 10 tickets. That's the minimum. But that's just a heck of a deal in the entertainment world.
$10
for 10 tickets
right,
for $10. Now, of course, people will spend a lot more than that because they're going to want to go on more rides if it's only $1 a piece. But I think we're going to have a huge crowd tonight, and the weather is going to be beautiful, and it will be a great way to kick off the fair.
Well, that's a great bargain. Rides cost a lot more than that anymore.
It does. If you're going to buy them individually throughout the week, a ride is going to probably cost you $3 to $5 a ride. So you've got the great promotion that we have tonight, but then as the week goes along, we have a lot of wristband promotions, and families really like that, where we're going to put a wristband on your wrist, and you pay that one-time fee, and the fees are going to be, there's a variety of them in the next 9 days, but anywhere from, I see a $20 armband, a $25 armband. On next Wednesday, there's going to be a $2 off price of a $20 armband with a coupon from great giveaway sponsors. What I really want to say, there's going to be deals in the entire fair. So if you can buy a wristband for $20 or $25, that's a heck of a deal. And for some people, that's the best deal there is, because some of the ride aficionados, all those teenagers out there that like to ride rides, they'll ride 50 rides a day. And if you can buy that for $25, that's only 50 cents a ride. So there's just a lot of specials here at the fair.
David, I understand, too, that the logistics has changed a little bit. I think they've made a little more space maybe in between the rides.
There was some additional paving put in with the Reithofers, and the fair discussed this, and there was some extra paving put in. They could make what we call the midway, or the area between rides or between the games. As you walk down the midway, they've made it a little bit wider to accommodate people. And when we get huge crowds, we will be packed, as you know, out there on the carnival grounds. So we wanted to have as much space as possible for people.
Well, that brings up another thing we might mention here. Of course, we don't want to be negative here, but COVID is with us, and the social distancing is still recommended. And I think y'all have gone to extra steps to sanitize and this sort of thing.
We've been doing this since we got started back in January. There was a lot of work with the Outdoor Amusement Business Association, all the carnivals, the food operators that play special events, fairs, festivals, that type of thing. So we do sanitizing in several different ways. Once before we start the show, they'll probably be going around today. They might have done it last night. We have big fogging machines that we will be bringing, and some people have maybe seen those ads for the airlines where they take them into the airplanes and they can spray the seats and they can spray the ride very quickly. And there's a product that they put on there that the people that supply the product say it's good for 6 months. We're actually putting it on twice a week. And I saw it done last night, and they just spray it on. It's a fogging machine, and it dries instantly, and it's an excellent barrier for any kind of germs kind of thing. The other thing we will do is wipe down seating areas on the rides with another antiseptic that we use. And we also have hand sanitizing stations at every ride and almost every food stand. So it's so easy, and we're getting used to it whenever we go into retail locations, just to pump your hands, a little bit of sanitizing, and I think that's great. So the Carnival has taken great caution to come up with these sanitizing things.
All right, well, we appreciate that. Appreciate your telling us about it, and it is time for us to take a break. We'll talk more with David Grimm in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day up to 30 days after the sale. There'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. The police are gathered up on the scene of this crash. 24, it's eastbound, just past Whites Creek Pike. Here we go. It's crazy slow now through the Jolton area. Because of this crash on 24 eastbound, you got all that traffic behind it trying to get in from Clarksville and Montgomery County, trying to push through this section of Jolton here where it's slow on 24 eastbound. Again, at Whites Creek Pike, bumper to bumper, 65 south at Trinity Lane. Heavy but moving on 40 coming out of Hickman, also Dixon County as well. Princess Hot Chicken is hiring at both locations. Log on to princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So, what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday morning. My guest is David Grimm. If that doesn't ring a bell with you, it probably shouldn't unless you're listening for the first 15 minutes here. But Mr. Grimm has a very responsible job in that he is the Director of Business Development and Marketing. I didn't tell people your title earlier. The longer the title, the more prestige. I'm not sure. Director of
I don't think so.
Director of Business Development and Marketing for Reithofer Shows Incorporated. And now they are they headquartered in did you say this, Bluffton, Ohio?
No, they're headquartered in Tampa, Florida.
Oh,
the entire show is based.
You're in.
I'm in Western Ohio.
But you are, but that has nothing to do with where they are.
No, I think in today's world, Coleman, as you know, you can be located about anywhere in America, and that's the way things work nowadays.
Yeah. And in your some information you provided me earlier, celebrating 125 years of providing fun in America. That's a long time.
This is really special, Coleman, and I think this is one of the great stories in America. Yes, this is Reithofer Show's 125th year. They were started in 1896 by their great-great-grandfather, who came over from Germany immigrated to America and had a general store in northeastern Pennsylvania. And a couple of years later decided to buy a steam-powered Carousel. And you can imagine we had steam-powered cars at one time. This was a steam-powered Carousel. And went out into some very small community festivals, and people liked that. So then pretty soon he bought a Ferris wheel, all right? And, the Ferris wheel came on board in about 1893. It was developed by a guy by the name of George Ferris out of Pittsburgh. And the first time the Ferris wheel went up was at the Chicago World's Fair in the late 1890s. And so anyway, the Reithoffers got one of those smaller Ferris wheels. And then that's how things started progressing. What's interesting to note in this industry, the carnival industry, these are all family operations. There's no corporate business. There's no Amazon. There's no Ford Motor or Coca-Cola running these operations. These are family-owned businesses. There's about 200 carnivals in America, and they're all family-owned. And I think it would be very difficult for any corporation to ever get involved in this kind of business because you have to grow up in this from like your bootstraps or from the ground up. You have to be born into the family to understand the business. So all these people that are out here on the show, they started doing this when they were 5 and 6 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and you and I've noticed too as I passed by, you see some carnival rides over on the fairgrounds, and you said some have been here for a week getting ready.
Yes, and we've really appreciated the extra time that we had to move in. It's, we're really building a city here. The entire fair, whether it's the fair and or the carnival, they're building a city, and we're going to build this city, and we're going to give everybody in Tennessee a lot of fun, and then we're going to tear the city down and move on to the next community.
And that's I think the carnival life has some uniqueness. I'm not sure there's anything else just like that. The way they are, you're here today and you're gone tomorrow somewhere else, and you do that for maybe 6 months out of the year
or longer. It used to be 3 months, then it went to 6 months, and now basically our shows are on the road 9 months out of the year. And people will get back home from time to time when there's maybe a little bit of a lull or a downtime. But for the most part, they're on the road a long time. They are living out of a trailer, and they've elected to do that. And we just have a marvelous staff. We have our administrative staff, and then we have our workers that are out there helping put the rides up and take them down and operate the rides. And that labor comes from a program called the H-2B visa program, and the visa program is run by the federal government. So we have a lot of our employees that come from other countries, namely Mexico. So you will see a lot of folks from Mexico, maybe South Africa, and most of the large carnivals in America are using those folks. It's a visa program, so they come and do their work here. We take their taxes out, which goes to the government, and then when the show is over in November, they will go home. They all have their cell phones with them. They like to show their families off on their cell phones, and they're just wonderful people. Some of the best customer service people we've ever had is the H-2B visa program.
Well, let's talk about a few of the rides. Now, I see here it says Dragon Coaster. You want to talk about the Dragon Coaster?
Well, you got to have neat names, and kids understand dragons.
Okay, now I got it. All right, that threw me off, the name of it, for a minute here.
The Dragon Coaster is actually a mini roller coaster, and we're going to have about 6 roller coasters at the fair altogether for little kids as well as big kids.
All right.
And that Dragon Coaster is a mini coaster. You have to be 36 inches tall, unless you're with an adult to ride the coaster. And I saw it the other day. It's a cute coaster. The families are going to love it.
And you've got the Rock Star.
This is a brand new ride that Reithoffers have just purchased in the last month. And I saw it this morning at 5 o'clock. The lights were on. And this is for the older riders, more of the teenage riders. It's a huge arm that moves around. It's hard to explain here on the radio, but I can tell you the riders are going to like it. It's Rock Star. It's a giant arm moving the carriage about 360 degrees all around.
Well, altogether, you have 61 rides that are going to be there on the Midway, and I think we need to. There may be some people that didn't hear us earlier. A special night tonight, and I think that's another reason for you being here this morning, actually, to remind everybody of that. It's a great night for rides
You
tonight.
can't say enough about opening night at the fair, $1 a ride at night. You must buy a sheet of 10 tickets. It is a heck of a deal. There's no better deal in the entertainment industry than right here tonight at the Wilson County Fair.
Well, I have an idea. Our attendance is going to be quite a bit larger just because of your special tonight. And then, of course, what you have on the carnival is more for the younger folks. I mean, when you get 40 or 50, you don't ride that as much if you're a teenager.
Yeah, when you get to our age, right? Most of the people that ride the rides are anywhere from 4 and 5 years of age up to about 22. That's your real ridership.
Okay.
And now, once you get over there, we still have a lot of older adults that will ride, but they might want to ride the Carousel, which you and I could do, or you could get on the big wheel. The big wheel is a really nice ride. It's 100 feet in the air, and it goes around very gently.
Is this a giant...
Like a Ferris wheel.
A giant Ferris wheel.
Right. We call it a big wheel. Right.
Yeah.
And so
I can do that.
and you and I could do that, and that's a lot of fun. So if Grandpa and Grandma are here, or Mom and Dad are here, and they just want to come to the fair, maybe they just want to go on a couple rides, I would suggest the Carousel or the big wheel. And obviously, if grandparents have got their grandchildren along, there'll be a real variety for them. One of the nice features about this fair, and it's a lovely fairgrounds that you have here at the Wilson County Fair-Tennessee State Fair, is we've got a beautiful grove of trees on the sort of the southeast corner of the fairgrounds, and that's where Kittyland is at. So moms and dads, you can bring your kids to the fair, and you can just stay in Kittyland. There's a lot of bounces out there, inflatables. We've got the mini Himalaya. There's all kind. We have the new bumper boats that are there, where the kids get in these little bumper boats and in the water. That's where the dragon coaster will be. And you don't have to be where the big rides are at, or the adults or the teenagers are at. And that's absolutely wonderful. It's also under the trees, nice and cool. It's wonderful.
Well, that's been well thought out, no doubt.
It has been.
Now, we have a listener who wants to know, do you have the zipper this year?
The zipper will not be here. Zipper is not here. You like to change some rides around, and to be able to accommodate and to get everything in, like that rock star, sometimes you have to take another ride out, and the zipper is not here.
Okay. All right. So
I think this caller must be quite knowledgeable about the carnival business when they're specifically referring to a ride.
Yeah, it certainly sounds that way. Well, where do you go from here?
That's a great question. This show will pack up and head for the New Mexico State Fair in Albuquerque. This is the longest jump, the longest ride that this carnival makes. And that fair, which I've had the pleasure to be to, is a spectacular fair in Albuquerque. And after they play that fair, this unit will then come all the way back to Lubbock, Texas, and they play the big fair in Lubbock, Texas. From Lubbock, they come to Perry, Georgia for the Georgia National Fair, and then they will go to Pensacola for the Pensacola Interstate Fair, and they will finish the season at Dothan, Alabama at the National Peanut Festival, a very big event.
I'm impressed. You've got all that off the top of your head. He's not reading that off. But go from here to, you said Albuquerque?
Albuquerque, yeah. I forget. Way. It is. And the other unit, which is in West Virginia, will go up to Canfield, Ohio, is their next stop. So this is a very big operation. I am so impressed every time I'm out with the carnival and see what's going on. About you have all the logistics to make the move, to tear the rides down, to all the trucking that's involved to get the rides to New Mexico. Then you got to put the show up again, and then operate it and take it down, and moving it constantly. These folks are a little bit like nomads.
Yeah.
And it's quite an operation. It's one of the great success stories in America.
Well, I would think is almost never a dull moment, though.
I think you're right. There's never a dull moment. There are new challenges everywhere. Obviously, every state has been different on the COVID regulations. And so we're prepared if somebody said you had to wear a mask, our people have masks that they can put on. But we're really taking all kinds of precautions, and I think everything has been very, very clean. We've been out since January, and I don't even know of any issues that there have been. One of the good things, Coleman, we're all outdoors.
Yes,
that's
right,
a good thing.
Right,
We're not.
exactly.
It's not like we're indoors.
And as far as safety goes, I'm sure there are certain regulations that are followed, but I would think that you go above and beyond that just to be on the safe side.
We are inspected every place that we go, either by state inspectors or by a third-party company that we bring in. We want to make sure that we're inspected by professionals all the time. We want another set of eyes looking at the rides. At the same time, we have a risk department that's traveling with us all the time. And that department also, we do our own inspections every day and have paperwork with that. So we're very concerned about it. It's our livelihood.
Sure.
We don't want anything to happen. Right. We want to take good care of our customers.
Well, we're about out of time here, but David Grimm has been my guest with Reithofer Shows. They're appearing at the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair, and great night tonight. $1 a ticket. You buy a sheet of 10 tickets, so it's going to cost you at least $10. But what a bargain, what a deal. And we're expecting a big crowd on the Midway tonight, and come and have fun, and it all opens at 5 o'clock. David, thanks so much for being with us this morning. My pleasure to have you.
Thank you. And Coleman, I want to say congratulations on your induction into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's it for Thursday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Friday edition. And until then, I wish you a tremendous day.